Hey, I'm Lauren, owner of Imagined Awakenings, and I'm ready to get creative with some resin. So always remember, wear your safety gear whenever working with epoxy resin, and be sure to work in a well-ventilated area. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be making jewelry. All jewelry, nothing but jewelry. So in this little anchor piece right here, I have some resin that I've mixed up and I added some gold foil to because I thought that would be cool, maybe. So then on top of that, I dropped some alcohol ink. And with alcohol ink, you want to drop the color first and then the white on top. As the white, it's heavier than the color and it kind of pushes it all down in the resin and creates the effect. Very cool effects. Okay, so in this cute little moon piece here, I'm taking some resin that I colored with, what did I color it with? Translucent pigments, that's what it was. Translucent pigments along with glitter, because I love glitter. And then I just kind of randomly drop colors in the mold to see how that would turn out. And then again, back with the clear resin and the gold foil, because I'm a big fan. Well, yeah, I guess so. So anyway, so I drop it in the mold. With these small jewelry molds, it's really easy to overfill. So you may often see me go back in there with my popsicle stick, because that's super like legit, and dig out some of the excess resin. Though sometimes it's still not enough, because when you add alcohol ink, it kind of increases the volume of what's in there. And it's still too much, which happens to me often, but it's no big deal. It doesn't ruin everything if that happens or whatever. Usually I can just clean it up in the end and it's totally fine. So same technique as what I did with the cute little anchor. Excuse the stupid notification on my phone if you heard that. How obnoxious. All right, moving along. This one I can't remember for the life of me what I used to color this resin. Like, I've been thinking about it for 15 minutes. All right, maybe not 15 and blanked. But it's some mustardy color that I wasn't the biggest fan of. Anyway, so the shimmery opaque colors are all resin. Excuse me, mica powders in resin. Duh, it's resin. That's the whole video is. And I don't know if you noticed how I spilled a little green into the moons. And so I just dabbed a little green into the other one just so it matched. No big deal. See, it's super easy, forgiving. Resin is very easy and forgiving. Just let your imagination go. It's really hard to make a mistake as far as design. And so just kind of go with it. And so the teardrop is one of my favorite shapes. It might be one of my most overused shapes, but it's just so pretty. I don't know why. When I unmold it, it's just demold. I think it's demolding. Sorry, let me just make up words. Anywho, it just always looks so pretty, the way, the shape, and it takes more resin. So actually it's a little less labor intensive. These really small projects are far more labor intensive than my really big ones, believe it or not, because it just takes so much more finesse, which I maybe don't have that much of. Anywho, so all of these are pretty much going to follow some kind of similar pattern. It's either going to be the translucent resin with glitter, which kind of gives it a little bit more of a galaxy spacey effect, or the mica colored resin, which is going to be the more opaque shimmery look, or clear resin with or without the gold foil and alcohol ink. Okay, so let me just tell you, these molds over here on the right with like they make the really thin earrings. I don't know how a better way to describe it. They were the biggest pain in the most difficulty. Like, a good portion of these actually didn't make it because any little bubble that's left in the resin, which sometimes it's hard for me to notice or recognize, pretty much ruins the whole piece because it's so thin. And I know like bubbles are the antichrist or whatever to resin, but like I don't really hate them that much. And the bigger pieces sometimes they even give character. But these smaller pieces is almost detrimental. So I made quite a few of these, and a lot of them, quite a few didn't make it, especially if it's up where the tip is, where the little peg part is. I'm calling it a peg. That makes the hole where you put the findings in for the earrings. Like if there's a bubble there anywhere near it, it pretty much ruins it. So I can't even put the finding in or make the earring, because it's like it almost looks like I just didn't put resin there, which kind of is what it is. It's a big air bubble. Anywho, a whole lot of words to say. If you're ever using the molds where it's just like really skinny pieces in there, be extra careful about bubbles. You almost have to be anal about it, because I even check and recheck, and sometimes it's still like it's a whole ruined piece. Luckily it doesn't take a ton of resin to fill those, so I guess it's a trade-off. Anywho, So the demolding, why do I keep saying unmolding? The demolding has begun. I already took that piece out, apparently off camera, but the teardrop ones, they're often my favorites. That's how it turned out. And then here's the anchor one, which is a little different since the mold inside isn't shiny. It comes out kind of matte, which I actually think is kind of fitting for the anchor pieces. Both of those had that gold foil in there, so just check out that effect. And so I really like those green and red earrings. Some of these pieces are actually made it to the site. Some of them may still be on the site. So here's some pieces that actually kind of got stuck together when the mold overflowed after I put alcohol ink in there. But I take care of that. I actually do it on film so you actually can kind of see it. It's not really a huge deal. The mustardy color wasn't actually so terrible, but it still wasn't my favorite. I'm so aggravated. I can't remember what I put in there. It wasn't mica powder because it would be shimmery. So anyway, a good portion of these pieces made it. A lot of the solid color pieces didn't. I prefer to do like more of a one-of-a-kind type things, and solid color is not really one-of-a-kind. So there it is. I'm fixing up these pieces here. And really I just kind of cut it, because usually it's still kind of soft in those areas where it ran thin, and there's the paint to resin mixture is kind of too high, so it's soft enough for me to cut as it hasn't sat there for several days. So anyway, just going to continue to demold, and obviously these are not all finished pieces because with jewelry you still have to add findings, ear hooks for earrings, and chains and clasps for necklaces. But these are the final results, and I hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.